is a panel discussion which will be moderated by Manoj Agrawal. And along with that, we have Mr. Madan Gopala Swamy, who is the president of Adarsh Co-operative Bank. We have Mr. Rajendra Dulare, the general manager of Satara DCCB. We have Mr. Karthik Ramaswamy, who is the VP of Simple CRM, and Mr. Atul Khirwadkar, the MD and CEO of Kalyan Janta Bank. May I request all the luminaries to please come on the stage, please.
Thank you, Babu. So, friends, we have here a panel of luminaries who understand banking and technology and business and have years and years of experience in this area. We're going to talk to them about agility. Maybe if I say just one line about agility, that's Mr. Gopala Swamy on my right post from Adarsh Bank, Mr. Rajendra Dulare from Satara DCCB, Mr. Atul Khirwadkar from Kalyan Janta Sahakari Bank, and Karthik Ramaswamy from Simple CRM. So let me start with Rajendra Dulare. Rajendra Dulare represents a bank that has been consistently winning awards, both at FCBA and at many other forums, including an award for the best performance during the decade at the hands of Home Minister. And congratulations on your bank, to your team. What I would like to understand from you is, what are the key pillars of digital transformation that will help the bank become agile and respond to the changing market, the changing scenario, and continue serving its customers? What is your observation?
Thank you, Matthias, to select such a nice subject. It is the ongoing subject for all cooperative banking throughout the country. Now, banking industry is now entered into a new era of high-tech banking, that is artificial intelligence assistance. The future of the bank depends on how we can manage to get this high-tech technology, digital channels, and all other day-to-day new coming channels into our bank to focus the customer's needs and also the customer wants and their behaviors. Because banking is a business, we all know, and without customers we can't do any business. So, in my opinion here, to create an agile cooperative bank of the future, it requires three things. That is, first of all, very important thing is technology. And to use this technology, there should be a skilled human resource in every business. Because cooperative banking sector is now facing skilled human resource. Like everyone in the panel will give support for that statement. Because we, the Satara Co-operative Bank, is also facing skilled human resource nowadays. Because a person should know technology and the person should know, he should be a good banker also. And integration of these two will make the perfect banker, and then only he will run the bank as per the revised laws and amendments and regulations of Reserve Bank of India and NABARD. The technology, it requires huge funds. Now, small banks and decision cooperative banks like a house, they can manage some funds. But small banks cannot manage huge amount of funds, which is required to get the technology integrated with the bank so as to render the high quality services to the customer. If customer is not satisfied, then he will run away to other banks like national bank, public sector banks, private banks, who are far away from the banks like RCBs like decision cooperative banks or other cooperative banks. So human resource is the main key again over here. And thirdly, the requirement of funds. When we all know when prudential norms were introduced for cooperatives in the year 1996-97, the RBI has given guidelines to make the provision for bad and doubtful assets, and banks are making the provision year by year. NABARD, I think from that year, NABARD has declared to give disbursement funds out to districts and cooperative banks. And I would like to proudly say that Satara DCCB Bank has continuously won 6 best performance awards from NABARD. So that may be major point I would like to discuss over here. Like that, banks are making provisions for their bad assets. Like that way, banks should make provision for future incoming technologies also. So RBI should consider RBI should make it compulsory to make such type of provisions. Some of the banks are doing the provisions on their way. We are also doing some kind of fund every year from our profit for the technology. So, this such type of discussions should happen at each bank level. How we can create an agile cooperative bank of the future. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rajendra ji. Let me come to Madan Gopala Swamy and try to look at it from a different angle. Cooperative banks, whether urban or district, are known to understand their customers very well. But let's divide customers into 2 kinds: the individual customers and the business customers. What kind of approaches do you see, have you seen among cooperative banks and in your own bank to cater to the needs of individuals, to be agile and meet the needs of individual customers, and then to be agile to meet the needs of business customers? Are the approaches same or different for these 2 different kinds of customers?
Thank you, Manoj. I am delighted to be here and thankful to Banking Frontiers. The word resilience, the word agile, I have been listening for the last 3 years. During COVID and post-COVID, whether your bank is resilient. During our recent RBI inspection, we were asked to about the survival of our customers during COVID period, the impact of COVID on the customers' financials, any impact on the bank. In the sense, if a bank is to be agile and resilient, we should be able to reasonably predict the short-term impact, little long-term impact. When COVID has started, we at our board of directors level met and very consciously took some decisions. Reserve Bank of India has given moratorium, permitted moratorium. The government of India also supported. The matter went to the courts also, whether interest to be waived or not to be waived, whether installments are getting extended. So much of discussion has happened. But at our bank level, what we did is be nearer to the customer, speak to the customer, understand the customer's grievances. So wherever only customer wanted moratorium only, we have given the moratorium period. The rest of the customers wanted only 1 month or 1.5 months time, they have cleared. And to tell you, that has worked very well. and we continued our net NPA at 0 during COVID period, post-COVID period also. And there are no provisions for extra provisions needed for us. We did not restructure, we did not reschedule, and all the loans were basically bank and the customer relationship is most important many a times. Now, it is not only the COVID. Every day we are facing some challenges. Last 1.5 years, inflation is going up. Interest rates are going up. Bonds yields are falling. And the entire treasury has become a big challenge. So, the traditional banking, pricing of the loan product, pricing of the deposit products, and treasury investments, these are all there. But over a period, if you observe, more than banking, these payment systems have become very, very important. The banks today can survive only if you are successful in the payment systems. And this self-service, the customer from his mobile wants to do every transaction. So you should be robust technology, cost-effective, convenient to the customer, then only you can survive. And we can implement so many technologies, but unless we validate and take it to the customers and keep on testing whether it is working well or not, it is no use implementing so many technologies. At the end of the day, bank should be able to get adequate returns on the technology invested. So return on investments in technology is most important. How do we evaluate? It is a big question. So there are set technologies that are coming. We had implemented MICR technology. We had implemented, several banks had invested crores of rupees, MICR check processing. That has been dumped. Then we had the CTS. Now we were processing about 10,000 checks a day a few years back. Yesterday, we had processed 168 checks. It has come down to that. In our bank also, we are measuring our digital indexing. We are maintaining some data. Day by day, it is falling. Today, every day we get only 160, 170 checks for our 15 branches. So, with lot of adoption in the digital technology, and now the 5G is coming, lot of changes are coming, we should be able to predict, and things are moving fast, and we should be able to adopt, reach it to the customer should benefit. Whatever the technology we implement, unless there is ease of doing it for the customer, these technologies have no use. Thank you.
Thank you, Gopala Swamy. Let me try to put the two together and come to Karthik. Karthik is with Simple CRM, leading CRM company in the country. Karthik, in light of technology evolution, in light of the business requirements that are required to meet customers' needs, whether they're individuals or businesses, it's becoming clear that customers also prefer system more and more in interface through systems rather than talking face to face or on the phone. So, how do you see CRM functionality, CRM capabilities evolving to give the cooperative banks the agility that they desire? How's that changing?
I'm going to try and split that question into kind of two parts. Now, there are several aspects that we can cover, but given the limited time, I'm going to try and focus on two broad things. One is from a perspective of the bank or the financial institution, and the other is from a perspective of the bank's consumer. How have they evolved and how is this struggling? So, or what are the challenges? So, one of the biggest challenges we identified while we have been deploying across banks, and we've deployed across about 7-8 banks in India, one of them being a cooperative bank, and several mid-sized banks also. So one of the biggest challenges that product needs to give functionally is the compliance angle with respect to the stringent norms that are laid with respect to RBI and NABARD, for example. In case of cooperative banks, NABARD comes in case of regular banks, it's only RBI, right? So our solution, and more, as the days go by, more and more CRM solutions are becoming compliant in a native manner, right? So they come out of the box compliant. So previously, let's say a cloud deployment was considered very taboo in banking, but of late people have started moving towards cloud even in the banking environment, so long as data residency is within India. But still, there are norms that need to be fulfilled. For example, things like customer grievances, for example. RBI has got very stringent norms towards making sure that the redressal is done on time. There are reporting challenges that banks face, and those kind of aspects are easily covered with simple CRM and a couple of others as well, for that matter. So one aspect which is from internal to the bank is the compliance norm which CRMs are coming up to speed right now. Now let's cut to the consumer aspect of things, as in like each one of us is probably also a consumer for a bank or a service, right? So how is the consumer changing, and how are organizations in the tech space? So that consumer today, and the previous presentation that was presented by the keynote speaker was also very insightful to see that how has the contribution dropped with respect to banks. Now the age group of people who are coming in is also changing dramatically, right? So if you look at the audience also today, for example, you've got a fair share of people who are, let's say from the vintage of Gopal Swamy sir, and from our side, let's say Manoj, and there's also a fair share of people, if you look outside, who are from the generation who are very digitally native, right? They don't know what it was to be without a computer or a mobile phone, and they would, metaphorically speaking, they said that mobile phone ke saath hi paida hua tha, right? So they don't know an era where we faced threats which did not have the internet, for example, right? But strangely, in contradiction to what you just said, Manoj, is that while they are digitally native, they are also expecting a human touch. Right, so it's a combination of the two which is leading to evolutions of not just technology within like CRM, which is now becoming omni-channel, for example. I will choose which mode to get across to my service provider, whether it's a cooperative bank, whether it is a courier service provider, or anybody. I might choose to start the conversation on a WhatsApp and end it on a Viber, for example, or I might want to complain on a Facebook and ensure that the ticket is and the Facebook complaint is taken all the way through to a phone call where I speak to the bank and say, okay, my problem is solved, for example. So this entire khichdi of sorts that we have today, which is a very strange combination of a consumer that is coming. Plus, add to the complications that you mentioned when you started, which is COVID, which has forced a lot of us to work from home, a lot of us to start thinking about things remotely and so on and so forth. This has compelled financial institutions and banks to actually be adaptive and agile towards their consumer. If that doesn't happen, then there is really nothing that can take things forward. And to that extent, technology providers like us have already adapted, and today, ready-made solutions are available to give that functionality out of the box as well, right? Okay. So, an omni-channel experience, as they call it. So, yeah. Those are the two things that are very, very, very crucial. One is the compliance part, which is extremely it's mandatory for you to start as a technology organization. So, our solution is RBI, NABARD, MEITY, all compliances are in place, including security. And the other part is the consumer part, which is giving functionality which is very relevant to the consumer.
And like you said, it's like across the customer journey.
It's across the entire customer.
Wherever it starts to wherever it ends. Fantastic. Okay. So since we talked about compliance, let me come to Atul. And I'd like you to comment on. So Karthik mentioned that technology is evolving to make compliance easier for apps. Many compliances come ready-made in various solutions, but as one has experienced, it's not simple 2 + 2 = 4. Compliance has so many nuances. so many interpretations perhaps, so many issues arise. Can you give us a picture of how urban banks can be more agile in achieving compliance so that they can then ultimately be stronger and serve their customers better? So that, RBI or some regulator doesn't come and stop this, and then business suffers, reputation suffers. So how do you see agility evolving?
Agile cooperative bank of the future, I want to run, but my father is not allowing me to run. I want to be very agile. Parents are not allowing. This is our own making. When I say that this is our own making, couple of years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we were all talking that we have a dual control. And we didn't want dual control from the registrar and control from the Reserve Bank of India. The luck as it stands today, PMC event happened. And that expedited the BR amendments. And suddenly now we have a single regulator. And that has killed the agility of the sector. This is my observation. I mean, it can be otherwise also. There are very senior bankers here. I could be wrong, but this is how I feel.
Okay.
I want to run, but then I am not in a position to run, and it dates back to 2020. Just look back at the concentration risk circular, where your credit growth is stifled. When I say it is stifled, you are out of business, you are not in a position to do. The commercial banking industry is growing at the rate of 13%, and we are almost half of that, around that size. Given the regulatory structure currently we are having, I doubt it will take another 3 to 4 years before we become really agile. One of the most important observations which I feel is that as far as agility is concerned, agility should be at the top. If there is agility at the top, and then if it percolates to the top management, senior management, middle management, and lower management, if the pyramid of organization, if you want agility, it has to be at the top. And if the top is not agile, your base will not be agile. I have always believed that an organization is an animal of, suppose I have got 500 employees.
Okay.
I have got 1,000 legs. And all those 1,000 legs, if I want to move in a particular direction, you need to take a lot of efforts.
Yes.
The agility comes provided all the 1,000 legs move in a particular direction. Having said this about agility, as far as the compliance issues you are talking about, a few weeks ago, the Minister for Cooperation, Mr. Amit Shah, made an announcement, which was a heartbreaking announcement. He made a statement that the way commercial banks are being regulated on the same lines the urban cooperative banks should be regulated. I am sure that the DCCB people are not facing the heat of that BR amendment because they are still exempted. They are still exempted. You ask a question to an urban cooperative director or an officer from the executive, you will find that the hangover of the amendment is still not gone because there are still grey areas. With those grey areas, I am not sure how I am going to take it forward. This is point number one. Point number two is, if at all compliances are required to be updated, the Reserve Bank of India is already pushing the bigger cooperative banks to have a chief compliance officer and a compliance setup. For a smaller bank, it has not come. Probably banks who are having assets above 3,000 crores, it will be implemented. Once you have a compliance setup, let me tell you, you have a compliance department, you have a risk management department, these are business dollars. Why do I call them business dollars? For the simple reason they are going to poke nose to the way you are doing business. But their role is different. Their role is to insulate the bank from accidents. Now that being the story, having a compliance and making it agile is a tough ask. And that tough ask, if at all we want to comply with, it is necessary that agility should percolate top to bottom. And the only way to do is be compliant. Be compliant. You will have growth issues till 2025. Thereafter, growth issues will go away because you restrict. And there is a good news I tell you about from Maharashtra, of course. Some 10 or 12 bigger banks have been inspected by Reserve Bank of India this year. And the input that I am getting is that Reserve Bank ने इस बार कुछ ज़्यादा परेशानी नहीं की, अच्छा तकलीफ नहीं दिया. Major banks, I am talking about major banks. When they say this, I look to it in a different way. Probably 2 years of, I should not call the word harassment, but whatever the troubles that the regulators gave to the urban cooperative bankers learned. That was the agility that the bankers have shown, and therefore the response that is coming is that इस बार हमारा inspection एकदम first class हो गया.
Atul ji, you have really made everybody think. It's really good. See, RBI is coming on one side, not only BR Act amendment, they are coming up with various tools for supervision. Earlier, our RBI officers used to visit the bank and collect information, analyze, and then send a report. Now they are coming with a laptop with a supervision tools. They are asking data dump and analyzing then and there itself. And coming to conclusions. Why in statement 1 it is reflected like this? Why in statement 10 it is reflected? Why it is not 10? It's in a few seconds, entire data. So, Agile banking includes your data integrity. Earlier we used to collect a PAN number, Aadhaar number, all other voter ID, etc. and keep it in the application. As an enclosure we were keeping, only 1 or 2 documents we were entering. Now, when RBI is asking data, entire data should be clean and valid, integrated. Otherwise, they are able to clearly know what is the standard of the bank. So, if you want to be compliant, your data integrity is also very, very important.
Right.
Regarding that digital rupee, the other day I was reading Economic Times or Mint. The traditional banking of intermediation, the banking has grown on intermediation. We collect deposits and lend it to somebody, make some money. What it is going to be with the digital rupees issued by central bank, what is the role of the commercial banks, what is the role of the cooperative banks, and it's a fog before us. We have no clear vision beyond the fog. Let the sun rise. We will understand. We have to redesign our organizations and perspectives, whether the branch banking will remain, whether we will remain a vendor, or we only a service provider for payment systems, or lending and borrowing will remain. And fastly, I think, I presume that there will be a lot of quick changes the way we have to work with. Thank you.
Karthik, if I may come to you, Mr. Gopala Swamy talked about data becoming more important in the branches and RBI asking for all kinds of data. So obviously the question arises that before an RBI official asks for data, how do you see CRM systems evolving to empower employees through data, through analysis of data, through finding the data, through finding patterns or differences, like you talked about one report versus another report.
Right.
Do you see CRM becoming more intelligent in some way?
It already has. It already has in many ways. I mean, for example, today if you have a lot of AI-powered analytics already coming into play. One of the starting points of an organization like us giving the right solution to the customer is actually to know the regulations that exist. If I don't know what the regulations are, for example, or we don't know it, then we can't really give you a system that is already compliant.
Correct.
Right? So that's the way we approached the problem solution when we got towards banking in the first place. So we constantly keep in touch with the fact that what are the compliance norms that are required. So one of the ways that we remained agile by making sure that and ensure that our consumers and our customers remain agile is to, let's say, start with what was called an on-premise solution, where data was residing right in the premise of the customer, for example. Now, add to that technology elements like AI, for example, and you can get a very solid combination with the BI tool, which throws exactly what is required. Now, it works both ways. So, we know what, let's say, public guidelines and publicly listed compliance lists, for example, are available freely for everybody to consume, and then there are specific inputs that organizations give to us saying, hey, these are the reports that we need, for example. So it's a combination of the tool that comes in, and today the CRM becomes a repository of all the information.
Okay.
AI sits on top of the CRM to ensure that the right information is mined to give you insights which help the banks. And then you also have BI tools which integrate with the CRM to give you the reports in the manner that you want it to, for example. Right? So it's a combination of multiple technology aspects put together. And what makes organizations more agile is when they select the right technology partners that actually allow them to complete a journey. And if I look at the cross-section of the audience out here, for example, one of the concerns that organizations out here that I saw coming in, especially cooperative banks which are competing against giant banks of the country, how can I think that big? And one of the things that Simple CRM gets to the table is technology solutions that allow these banks to think big, start small. Yeah, I mean, you're required to think that I will go to a particular level, but I will start here at this level, and then I scale really rapidly through a whole host of technology solutions that include, let's say, low-code, no-code platforms, AI tools, BI analytics, deployment options available for you, so where organizations used to deploy on-premise over the past decade, with norms being followed and the compliance norms being adhered to by the cloud service providers, even local cloud service providers for that matter. Banks today have the option of going to a full SaaS model, which not only allows them to scale really fast, actually analyze the data that we were talking about on the fly if they wanted to, and more importantly, save a large chunk of money which can be deployed towards creating an agile system.
Okay. So, just to kind of maybe ask a last question, Rajendra talked about skills being important, and you talked about, and of course our bankers talked about banking skills, but you just talked about AI and low code. So, in adopting a modern CRM system, do bankers need these kind of skills in-house, or can they, outsource it to experts like you?
Yeah, I mean, it's already started. A large chunk of analytics is now being outsourced through engines and through tools that are available. But the magic of a good CRM system, for that matter, is that, and we say this to most of our customers, is that the qualification criteria required for somebody to operate that CRM is that the person should not be afraid of a computer. It is that simple. So to that extent, CRM solutions like us and like several others also have adapted themselves to give you very simple solutions that can allow you to in the theme of this event, right? In the theme of this panel, remain agile. I want to add 4 features, I just drag and drop and add those 4 features. I'll leave the complications to the backend system to manage per se, but is the system completely compliant? Is the system allowing me to do what my consumer wants me to do? Is the system allowing me to adhere to the stringent norms that sir was saying a little while back, saying it gets thrown on you, saying, okay, now you have to do this, for example. So that is what solid technology systems get to the table for customers like cooperative banks and small financial institutions. Like, no matter what gets thrown at you, hey, you know what, we've got to cover.
Let me ask my vendors, ask you a one-line reply. When a vendor comes to you and uses words like AI and low-code and API, right? Does that sound scary or does that sound normal.
They ask a lot of money. They ask a lot of money. We know all these words. The point is, the prices and our requirements, if we try to compare, money is one issue. And then still, as an urban cooperative banker, we are tagged behind where the foreign and commercial banks are. Tagged behind. Because we still feel that हमारा customer कहाँ जाएगा, क्यों चाहिए हमें? So that at the back of the mind that remains. I just intervene what Madan ji responded. See what Reserve Bank of India asks you for data. You said that Reserve Bank of India has got inspection tools. ऐसे कुछ नहीं है sir. You use CAT tools. Use the CAT tools. Cleanse your data. Analyze your data on your own way. Ask those 1,000 questions through your own data and let RBI fill the gaps. You know what will be his theory? If तुमने वो रैप नहीं बनाया ना, that is a violation. Branch पे that's manageable. अगर वो ढूंढ सकता है तो मैं क्यों नहीं? So I am proactive. That's how I wanted to respond to your own data लेना ये we can do that.
Just to add one.
Does these technology heavy words sound scary?
In my opinion, it sounds, as you said, because there is no regulation or any pricing mechanism. All this system, somebody gets nervous, but this is the true fact that there is no regulation and pricing system. Otherwise, every product there is MSP, FRP, all the system is there. But as far as cooperative bank, RCBs and NCBS are concerned, they working their job in the rural and remote villages where illiteracy. We are talking about technology, but there is illiteracy in these areas where we are working. So somehow some subsidies should be granted by government, or the vendors should think about this, because in market there is yes. Okay.
Now we're going to grab the mic before we don't stop. But sir, your quick reply, are these scary or something else?
It's not scary, sir. We want to listen to them. Basically, the ecosystem consists of so many upcoming technologies, and there are so many channels, delivery channels to the customers. One is that cyber security and information security, most important for banks. There are so many vendors coming into who can really provide or who cannot provide is one area. The other one is these account aggregators and all new systems have information providers and seekers are coming. And even simple things like ATM or cash recyclers, the price is so much vary from one customer to the other customer. We have to be very cautious, but consciously we should welcome new technologies, new vendors, listen to them and evaluate.